My first job out of school was with Ralph Lauren. To rattle off all the brands that I consulted for is...
Just for fun. How you can just stand out.
I've done just about everything you can do in clothing.
So this was kind of the beginning of Cone Denim doing actual marketing and branding.
You need a denim, because now the people that go to ThriftCon, aren't they looking for like 90s and that's...
We are in New Milford, Connecticut. Never been to Connecticut before, but Monique has a property out here and she's invited us to come out to her property. They're calling it the farm or the ranch yesterday. I'm not sure which one, I can't remember. But she's invited us to come out. She has a whole collection of bucklebacks out here. She has some of her upcycle stuff that she has been working on lately. Yeah, I think Monique, like Britt, isn't afraid to flex the size and the value of her collection because she knows what she has. She knows denim. Monique, hi.
Hey!
It's good to see you again.
How are ya?
What are you up to?
Oh, feeding my bees.
Feeding your bees?
I just put my bees in this past weekend, and I need to feed them sugar water. There's no flowers yet. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You want us to let you get a chance to get changed up?
Yeah.
And then we can go talk about some denim?
For sure.
Okay, cool.
All right. So hi, Morris.
Yeah. Hi.
I'm Monique Bizzi-Picha. I'm a denim designer, expert, collector, and all-around crazy denim lady. Huge enthusiast, and keep building my collection and using it for my clients, and just to have an amazing collection.
Why denim?
Yeah. Well, I always was into vintage. So when I was in high school, I was a crazy chick that had the fox that clip on with their mouths to each other, and had the pointy shoes from the vintage store. And I went to FIT, and really started getting, there was a lot of great vintage in Manhattan, and we all started getting into vintage Levi's. And my first job out of school was with Ralph Lauren, and the denim was his passion. I was a bartender and a waitress at a country club in New Rochelle. My boyfriend ran the country club concession, and one of the members was the sample maker for Calvin Klein, Ralph Lauren. He was just like, what degree do you have? I'm like, production management, like an engineering degree. He's like, oh my God, oh, she needs you. Yeah. So I started working there, and right away I was on the road. Ralph was such a special time because it was just the trajectory of the business was crazy. So we're talking 86, and I think that he started somewhere in the 70s, so it was like a 10-year-old company, but it really did start with ties, and then the polo shirt started, and then woven shirts, and then it came to our division, Roughwear, which he had a huge passion for denim. So this is one of the earliest pieces I ever did, and this is for Ralph Lauren. Isn't it amazing with the Mackinac plaid?
Rivets everywhere.
Rivets are just really meant for reinforcement. It's made out of Graniteville denim. Graniteville was the denim of choice at Ralph. You can see here it's made in USA. This is part of the dungarees that I was telling you about, the dungaree collection. This was probably made in either Covington, in Opp, Alabama, or it could have been made in Arkansas. This is probably like an 18-ounce Mackinac plaid, which is in between the 18-ounce and the denim. Sewing those together is a challenge. I have been known to make jodhpurs for Ralph Lauren out of this Mackinac plaid. And then after that, I went to Diesel USA. Renzo Rosso had to handpick us and approve all of us, and me coming from Ralph, he was just like. But what was so great is I trained in Italy with their wash masters. Martelli Laundry, that was their laundries. Pattern maker, Venuccia was an amazing pattern maker, just learning all the tricks, because there were a lot of pattern making tricks that I had to take back to the factories in USA and teach them how to do these tricks. So this is a Diesel piece that was produced, 1990. And so what we did is we had the original jean that was made in Italy. We had their pattern, and we would fit it on an American model. There was a little bit of a translation between an Italian fit and an American fit. Not too much, but we had to translate it a bit. And so we'd make some tweaks. And then so we would make a new pattern. In some cases, in other cases we would just use the Italian pattern. This is a signature Diesel insert on the coin pocket. They still have it to this day. I mean, they have different ones, but it's still consistent with their fit. button fly for women's, which was a struggle to sell. But stores that really respected and understood diesel were fine with it and bought it. And as you can see, it has like kind of a carrot leg. Carrot legs and higher rises is what was happening in the 90s. So really nice hand sand, a long stone wash
Hand sanded,
cycle.
these are hand sanded.
These are hand sanded for sure. Because we were just starting the hand sanding process back then. So
And
that's
now
the
this
jean.
is very popular again, right?
Oh, yeah,
These
for
cuts,
sure,
this
yeah.
wash.
Yeah. At Calvin, I was design product manager, director of merchandising, VP of merchandising, and then EVP of merchandising. CK was really meant to be more like a casual work dressing for women, and he also wanted CK Calvin Klein jeans to augment this. Like, it wasn't meant to be a big brand. So this is a women's jean. At the beginning, we had 2 divisions, women's and men's. And then I started the junior division, which was a huge success. We thought it would, really take away from the women's business, but it was on a different floor in most department stores, so it was a great success. But this is a women's jeans. It's called a 146, maybe 2 years after diesel, but you still have that carrot shape.
Still 90s era.
Still not, this is about 92,
Okay.
92, 93. This comes from the archive, and I was trying to get one with all the dead stock hang tags because we had really cool hang tags and flashers on the back.
Wow.
So still has that slight snow wash. This fabric is probably Burlington, part of the Cone umbrella, but they were competitors in the 90s. And then I started my own brand, and it was on fire. To rattle off all the brands that I consulted for is Polo Jeans Company, Purple Label, DKNY Europe and Asia, Martin Francois Gerbeau, Uniqlo, The Gap, Simon Spur, Martelli Laundry Group, Limited, Tommy Hilfiger, Alexander Wang. If you see Top Gun, that's a Vince jean. His stylist bought that jean for him in the Vince store. He loved it. And so they're like, we have to have this for Top Gun. What's great is that you really become part of the family and the DNA of the brand, But I just wanted a space just for the collection. And I knew I wanted to archive it correctly, build a website, and start renting it to designers who are not my clients, and also for my clients to come up and peruse and see whatever they want to use. Having this vintage archive is part of the consulting fee, so they could use whatever they want. These last pieces are from what I call the Black Box Reserve. So these are pieces that are like the oldest pieces that I have in the archive. So this is my oldest piece. This is 1870. The brand is called Renown. It was in existence for a very short period of time, but doesn't even really know when. The price of these would be extraordinary if they were a full pair of pants. How we know they're from 1870 is because you see it's a continuous fly piece that goes all the way up, and they stopped that in like 1872, 73. They went into a cut fly. So on the back, what I love is the cross grain pockets. Amazing. I love all the sun bleaching, and just like you can see that like kind of accordion there. The buckle back, whatever buttons are there. There's only a few that are the original. Brit wouldn't even know how to cost it if it was a full pant. Wouldn't even know how to do it because they're so rare. The brand is so rare. All right, actually I think I got one from Larry and I got one from Brit. But these are both 1895 Strongholds, 95, 96. Just beautiful repair, incredible wear. This is just a mill flaw, but they didn't really.
Is that right?
That's a mill flaw. Yeah,
Okay.
but they didn't care about mill flaws in workwear.
Yeah.
Like we would have cut this out.
Of course.
Actually, it's very hard to see these kind of mill flaws in the raw state, but now our screening is a little bit better, so maybe you'd be able to see this.
Yeah.
If not, after we would wash the garment, if we see this would be a second quality. Now, then they didn't, like I said, they didn't really care. Orange stitching, but it's like that kind of bright poppy orange stitching. So this guy, what I really love about this guy, greenish kind of weird tint in there. Beautiful patina, really nice wear, rust, really great side pocket crunches. It's just an amazing piece. And again, look at that, way off.
Yeah, like,
It's not their signature. It's just they didn't care.
That's
They just
crazy.
didn't
That's
really care.
crazy.
This one I really love. This is a Levi's from 1915, and again it has really great repair. Look at this legs. If you want to pick up that leg just to see it. Yeah, really beautiful wear and repair. I got this from Brit, and I was kind of back and forth with Lynn, who was the archivist at Levi's at the time, but she. And it was a friendly kind of back and forth that Brit was negotiating between the two.
Right.
And she let it go because she actually had a pair of jeans that looked very similar, like a workwear style. Anyhow, so I got it.
So then, yeah,
I got
lucky
it.
for you.
Yeah. The pièce de résistance for me is this, that all the colors are still incredibly visible.
That
On the sateen, touch that patch of sateen, it's beautiful. This really makes this very valuable because a lot of them are faded or even ripped, you know. These, I'm just gonna put a few more on the rack. I got this at the Festivus at Britt's house, and I just adore how this is all patched together. And this patina rust staining it's dust. It's like mine dust.
Yeah.
And that orange color, I just had to have it. I don't know the value of it just because it's like, you know, so pieced up, but I just love how it is. I actually would love to reproduce this with like 2 vintage jeans in a way, you know. I call it the Holy Trinity because it is one rancher that wore 3 brands of jeans, because typically ranchers and cowboys and miners are dedicated to one brand. And we could tell a lot about that because of the whisker pattern. Each one of these fabrics is gonna take that whisker on a little bit different, but there's incredible similarities to where the whiskers are, the boot stacking. So this is a total ranch hand, you know what I mean?
This guy worked.
He worked. He's a worker, yeah. It's Biggie, right?
Yeah, it's
so
Biggie.
50s, this looks like a 50s. This exaggerated Wrangler patch is also like 50s.
After meeting with Monique at the ranch, we met her in Manhattan to speak with Cone Mills, the exclusive selvage denim provider for Levi's XX 501s from 1915 to 2015.
I started buying Cone Denim at Ralph Lauren. Ralph did like Graniteville for his bottoms. That was just his mill of choice. Then from there I moved to Diesel, and there we bought a lot of Cone, and it was 1662. 1662 is like the quintessential OE, meaning open end, open end. Before that, a lot of denim was ring spun. Ring spinning is a longer process. It takes longer to ring spin the yarns. You know, in the late 80s, 90s, when denim was like huge, they needed a quicker way to do it. And open end was a quicker way to produce. But you know, the 90s was like the rage. I'll never forget when I interviewed with him, it's just gonna be a little small company. You know, if I get to like 60 million, it'll be great. And you know, 2 years we were at 68 million. And then, you know, so it was like, you needed denim. Like we were like huge back then, and we were buying Cone, we were buying Burlington, and we were buying like, just like the capacity, because the jeans in the early 90s, it just was, I mean, you know, just because now the people that go to ThriftCon, aren't they looking for like 90s, and that's consistency. I mean, you could have the most quote unquote innovative fashion mill that doesn't do their due diligence.
Quality, staple length, right? So if the staple length is too short, we know that the quality is going to be low, especially for a ring spun product. Cone does not budge on quality. No nonsense.
There's other mills, like I said, the ones that are like more fashiony or whatever, you know, there's not good consistency. Cone has the consistency that you just sleep in at night and you know you're going to get what you want.
Well, Levi's is one of them. That's kind of a known. Gap, Abercrombie. There was a time in history where the 501 is exclusively made by Cone Denim, something called like Well Thread. I don't know if you've seen that, like the Levi Well Thread line, which is their more innovative line. So we produced a line of natural indigo fabric specifically for that. So that's more fashion. The retail price is going to be a more premium retail price. So when projects like that come up, they'll come to us and we'll kind of collaborate, which is really fun. So this is one of our very special archival books, dates around the 1950s. So this is the King of Denim's book, which is a fantastic title. So this was kind of the beginning of Cone Denim doing actual marketing and branding. Cone Deep Tone Denim was a brand that Cone created in the 30s. And so I'm kind of estimating that this book and a lot of the swatches were produced around the 1950s. And you see some of the different selvage IDs. So we won't go one by one, but this is, you know, just some of the selvage ID options, different selvage ID designs. For Lee, back in those days, Lee would be green, Levi's is red. A little bit of a mini archive in here. So on this bottom rack here, this is our archive that we've been collecting since I'd say the early 90s. Bought samples, inspiration, vintage, just things that we've kind of collected for fabric inspiration for developing a line. But it's nice because it dates back to the 90s.
And these were pairs that were worn, or they were like made to look patinaed like
We
this?
made them to show our customers.
So these are from the 70s.
Yeah, marketing,
Yeah.
probably photo shoot, and they were
Yes.
like, let's get this.
Yeah, like some
so there were
kind
a
of
lot of
you
those
know,
things happening.
They weren't necessarily selling
I love
this.
This is
They
one
were
of my
probably
favorites.
selling like, you know, shampoo.
Obviously, Levi's is one of your guys' biggest partners. This over here, this is a collection of Levi's 501s produced on White Oak on Cone Denim.
It's a variety. So
Okay.
with the Levi relationship, what we would do when working with their design team and presenting them fabrics, we would present them in their own 501 silhouettes, and we'd work with like state-of-the-art laundries to kind of bring them to life. And you know, the design team really like loved that presentation. Instead of us going just with regular washes,
What an honor to have your 501. Like,
I mean,
that's
it was,
amazing.
I have to say that
Yeah,
was one very cool part of my job. That it's like one of those times in your career that you're like, this was so cool. I was living in San Francisco and worked with Levi's, and I got to do that with them. So that's what this is. So this is kind of, it's not everything that we have, but this is kind of like the best of the best in terms of the garments. So the story with Pinto is, 1969. There was a massive storm, hurricane, and the warehouse where the fabrics was housed was completely flooded.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know if it was a salesperson or a marketing person came up with the idea, putting some solution that would kind of like remove some of the color, and then the result was this sort of like tie-dye stripe. And you can look up, you can Google Pinto Denim, it's like a historical thing, but they couldn't keep it on the shelves.
That was the perfect era for something
Right?
like that to
Exactly.
happen.
Very,
This looks so
right?
70s.
It's perfect. So this was a replica of the Pinto that we did at White Oak in like the mid 2000s. So just to kind of show you that. I mean, just for fun. Just for fun. Probably can just stand out.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Just for fun.
We're here to see Maurice Malone from Williamsburg Garment Company. He's been here for over 20 years. They use Cone Denim, which is one of the reasons we reached out. So we are gonna go check him out. We wanna see him on that sewing machine, see what type of stuff he's working on, how he's using the Cone Denim, maybe either get some repairs done, look for a pair to purchase, I don't know. We're gonna see.
Hi, I'm Maurice Malone. I'm a denim designer. Been doing it for about going on 40 years now. We're in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, inside our studio where we do alterations, custom-made jeans. It's also like our denim retail location. Without going all through my history, I'm best known as a denim designer, but also a designer. I've done just about everything you can do in clothing: suits, dresses, shoes, eyeglasses, sportswear, kids' clothes. But denim is what people really know me for. Because I started when I was like around 19. The uniform for kids my age were denim. And I used to like make jeans at home. I used to hand wash them in this concrete tub. I don't have any formal education, so I taught myself everything, like reading books and just trying stuff. I've always been good at like putting things together. I source my denim mainly from Japanese mills. Always look for like the oldest cone denim is left if it's something interesting. We find cone white oak at jobbers. Cone to me, being American made denim, we're doing American made jeans. It's like a match made in heaven. Prior to COVID, when the brand first started out, we were selling other stores. And it came a point where too complicated sometimes, like with the return issues and shipping stuff. They were always looking to penalize me. All these places that offer alterations, they're doing it outdated. Like, you should be able to order alterations just like you can order anything else online. So that's what I did. Alterations slowly start growing. But when COVID hit, I said, turn this business into a service business so I don't have to worry about inventory. And plus, I'm the only one working. I can handle it. I took $10, put in Google for like online alterations, got a sale. It was like fishing. Put another $10 in, line out, boom, 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 2 more sales. Every day I would come to the store, like the boxes get higher, 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 higher. So finally I had to start hiring people and bringing them in. And now alterations is probably about 85% of our business. Yeah, this busted seam right here, we can just run an overlock, just close this up, give you the seam line, clean this up on the inside.
Perfect, because I have this safety pin that just has been poking me in the leg
Yeah.
for about 6 months now. Every time it just pops open.
Yeah, just popped open on me.
I'm saying, it does it constantly. It's an actual hazard that I walk around with. Fire. The angled pocket came out so good.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now let's
Thank
get
you.
the rivet on here. There you go.
Perfect. Perfect. Wow. Good as new. Better than new. They never were good as new.
And we're just these are all the stuff that little thread
love
that
it.
can in.
I love it. Thank you so much for helping me out with these. Just finished up with Maurice Malone. Yeah, Mo, he's a cool guy, man. We got to speak all about his side of Cone Denim, sourcing from them, what he believes might still be out there. It was also just great to get his perspective on why it matters to keep things made in America.
With the majority of American denim mills shuttered, existing stockpiles shrinking, and supply chains continuing to globalize, what's next for the denim industry in the U.S.? From the abandoned barns and mine shafts of early America to Fashion Week runways in Paris and Milan, one thing continues to remain true. Denim has always been, and will always remain, uniquely American.